Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Michaela Peters. I'm going to be uber lazy today and leave the same earrings in that I already had. Oh, I just realized that my nails match my eyeliner. Yeah, I really like blue, and I read that people with ADHD tend to like blue because it's calming, and I was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Yeah, so today I'm going to give some life updates. I had some other ideas for videos, but I don't know. I guess I just want to tell you guys what's going on in my life. I think I started having issues because I started talking about similar things in both my Russian and English channels. And while I definitely do not rely on YouTube as any sort of medium for making money, it's very interesting because my monetization went from like $106 now down to like $81. And I'm like, what happened? Part of it is you can have a copyright strike against you, and then part of it is if you're repeating content, stuff like that. So yeah, that kind of sucks because again, as an ADHD person, I usually rely on some sort of incentive to get myself to produce something or to like work towards a goal, whether that's like grades or in this case, money. Like I need something that's making me go in that direction. And right now, the fact that the money is going backwards kind of sucks. There's also a lot of other stuff going on in my life right now, like the fact that I need to start my PhD work, and I now have a fire lit under my butt, as I will say, because my first essay is due on, or article rather, is due on November 1st. And yes, that's 2 months away, but 2 months really flies when you're doing 5 million things. I feel like a really terrible friend to people because I kind of am in this mode of I want to say yes to seeing people, but I also kind of don't want to see people at the same time just because I feel like I have so many things that I'm behind on that I'm like, yeah, I need to be working on those. I have been working kind of this weekend. I was trying to get something done before my other job. I have this big presentation I need to do for a conference that I went to, and that sucks because I need to present that later next week, but I need to have it done by Tuesday. So, yeah, that's not great because also we have off tomorrow and it's Labor Day in the US, and I really wanted to use that day to go to the beach for the last time, and now I'm like, ugh, I don't think I'm gonna do that because I need to finish this stupid presentation. Although maybe if I get it done early, then I can just go to the beach and kind of sleep there. That would be nice. Yeah, let's see. So one of the things that I should do probably is I probably should stop working at the restaurant, but it's really hard when you walk out with cash every day, and I'm just like, you know, this is when I'm back to feeling this way that I used to feel many years ago, which is that I wish there were multiples of me. I feel like there's a movie like this. I don't know what it's called. If you do, you can let me know. But basically, I wish I could get one of me to go work at the restaurant, as I say, hire the other one of me to work my regular job and actually be a competent coworker there instead of somebody who's constantly distracted. Um, that's kind of how my brain works. I wish I could hire one of me to exercise, be healthy, and maybe eat better. I wish I could hire one of me to play with my dogs and groom them and stuff. Yeah, because we groom our own dogs because taking them to groomers is traumatic. That's kind of why their haircuts look weird. Full disclaimer. I wish I could hire one of me to clean and organize. I wish I could hire one of me to do creative stuff like making my YouTube channel and actually trying to figure out how to make my videos more interesting and edit them and stuff because all this stuff takes so much time. I wish I could hire one of me to sleep. I wish I could hire one of me to go be social. Like, there are just so many things in life and it's just really hard to prioritize and it sucks. So let's see. This is bothering me that this hair is sticking up. Okay. Um, Alright, so that's kind of what's going on is the PhD stuff. Oh yeah, obviously I need to hire one of me to do my PhD research. So that's something I really need to get started on. I'm trying to figure out cutting back on the restaurant. There are people who want to see me. I do plan to leave New Jersey for a bit in October and November. That's pretty common because I kind of do that with off season with the restaurant. Did that last year as well. Went to Texas for several weeks, so planning to do that. And then I kind of just don't want to be in so many positions where I'm leaving the house though at the same time between now and then because that require like leaving the house isn't like I went to Maryland for a week because I'm one of these people where when I pack for a trip, it won't get unpacked. Like the clothes from that trip are still in my car and I just haven't taken them out yet. That's just the kind of person I am, very disorganized and chaotic. And yeah, people accuse me of being chaotic. I'm gonna own that. It's true. I'm not gonna deny that at all. I am like, yeah, if enough people say it, it's got to be true, and it's also just how I feel internally. So there's, yeah, all this stuff going on. The monetization component is interesting again, and just trying to get through working at the restaurant, trying to finish out the season strong. We're almost there. Trying to get ahead on like managing my finances and stuff. That's always a hard one. And something else that I found really interesting is yesterday I was at the restaurant and I was talking to these people who actually moved from my area of New Jersey down to the area that I had particularly looked at buying a house in Maryland recently. And I'm like, well, how do you like the area? And they really like it. They feel like it's much more affordable. And they're just like, yeah, the fact that you work 2 jobs and you're aware that you can't afford anything here, like that really says a lot. And they're explaining how their mom, one of their moms, I guess, lives in a home in New Jersey that's like the childhood home that they grew up in, so they just outright own the house. That's how they afford to be still in New Jersey. And I'm just like, yeah, like it's really like it really sucks for young people in New Jersey. And then they sit here and they wonder like, why are there no children? Well, how are people going to afford to have children if they can barely afford to move out of their parents' home at like 30? So sometimes these conversations make me feel better because I'm like, I know I'm working 2 jobs. I know I'm really trying to figure out like how to make this work financially, and I'm a very strong believer in I need to figure this out once and for all, because if I'm going to come back like to my parents' house because I ran out of money and I made some unwise financial decisions, I would feel like a complete and utter failure. And then they were also kind of joking with me about like, how do you know if you, because I work remotely, right? Like move to Kansas or move to Nebraska. And I'm like, look, I joke all the time about moving to Kansas. And then people are like, there's nothing out there. And maybe for me, I have a really hard time understanding why that's a bad thing. Again, let's keep in mind I'm this kind of person who like loves Finland, and I just feel like there are always people everywhere. I don't feel like I like need to be around people all the time, contrary to like what people thought about me in Finland. And I do want to make a video about like why I'm not the same person in Finland that I am here, because I do feel like those are like 2 different versions of Michaela. Michaela type A is in New Jersey, Michaela type B is in Finland, something like that. So, for me, as long as I have like a house, I can cook my own food, I can clean it, I can like go out to some things, I have opportunities to speak Russian. I can't imagine that that would be easily accessible in Kansas. I do feel like that's easily accessible here. That's a major drawback. Maryland, I think it'd be easily accessible too. The Northeast, aside from like California, and I think Texas also tends to have a bigger, or a higher population rather of Russian native speakers. So yeah, there's all that going on. Yeah. Um, and what else do I need? A nice place to go running, because that's what I have both here where I live in New Jersey and also where I lived in Finland. That's actually one thing I kind of hated about when I was going to Rutgers, is like there was a park I could go running in, but I just like didn't like it that much. Whereas when I was at community college, I liked the park I could go running in. I like, I have like a park near my house right now that I go running in. I can also go running on the boardwalk. That I don't like as much because you have to dodge people. I definitely prefer running in woods, or I like running in the boardwalk in the winter when nobody's there. So, yeah, I guess what you can get from this is I really just am trying to avoid people a lot, which, again, the thing I explain all the time is in Finland, it's like the complete opposite problem, and that's why it was so hard to adapt. I'm like, I never ever thought I could be in this situation where I'm seeking out people rather than trying to get away from people. Like right now, it just feels like I'm always trying to get away from people. They're just everywhere. I think if I worked from home only, that would feel a little bit different. But because I work at the restaurant and I'm in a busy, high traffic area, busy restaurant, seasonal restaurant, feels very different right now in the summer. On top of worrying about all the housing stuff that I'm thinking about constantly, because this is probably an autism thing where I just like obsess over a few things. And aside from psychology, that is also finances and housing, right? So these are like my autistic obsessions currently, which at least I have more than one right now. Oh, and the Russian language, but that one is just part of my identity right now. It's like solidified in there. So, yeah, this is everything that I'm just thinking about right now. There's just a lot going on, which is why I feel like I have not been able to keep up with the quantity of YouTube videos. I also really want to get more into the editing space, but right now, as I explained, this is like not the thing that makes any money. So aside from this being very strictly a hobby and like really liking the engagement, like although now that I've made a couple of public announcements, mostly on my Russian videos about how I'm not looking for a husband on here, I feel like not that I've been getting less engagement, but people actually have stopped sending me fan mail emails, as I'll call them. So like people really like to message me and be like, I watch your YouTube channel and this is who I am and I do this, that, and the other thing, and I would really like to meet you in person. And now after I just got done explaining how much I'm trying to avoid people, I hope you can understand how undesirable this is to me. It's like completely overwhelming. And I'm like, people, please just leave me alone. Oh, yeah. So anyway, no, but I appreciate the engagement. I appreciate like, especially in my Russian videos, I get a lot of like, yeah, people either critiquing me, which I find helpful because I'm still, a student of Russian language after all, even if I am fluent because I'm not a native speaker. And people asking me more questions on what they'd like me to do videos on. And so, like, yes, I appreciate the engagement. The reason why I really am starting to love this platform, like for me interacting in a weird way socially with people rather than like in real life, is that there's not a lot of like energy. That sounds like a weird way of putting it, but like when I'm physically with somebody, if they're unhappy with me, I can feel it and it very negatively affects me and makes me exhausted. Versus I feel like on YouTube, if somebody leaves a rude comment, I can leave it and be like, okay, and then I just move on, and then I actually like forget about what it even was. Yeah, but I know people write rude things. I can't even remember the rudest thing somebody wrote to me. It just doesn't stick. So that's kind of why I like it. Like I get a lot of like flattering things. I get a lot of negative things. It's no different than real life, but again, just appreciating the engagement. I think is really cool. So yeah, that's everything I think I have for today. I need to put my other clothes on and go to the restaurant now, which in case you can't tell, I just don't feel like doing, but I have to. And yeah, and just, remember that it's the end of the summer tomorrow. Actually, wait, that's made me really excited. Okay, great. So, yeah, that's everything. I'm going to try to keep up with these, but it's going to be a rough week because I just keep getting assigned things from my manager on top of having these, like, presentation things I need to do, and it's the end of the quarter, so I have to do my blog post, which is due at the end of this month, and then I also, it's a lot. That's it. Okay, so that's my life update. Something has to give, and I don't know what it is. Maybe you can tell me, because I have no idea, and I think it is the restaurant because that's like the one non-professional thing I'm doing here, but it does give me more money, so. Or do I quit YouTube? Um, I don't think I'll quit YouTube. I think I'll just do more infrequent videos, maybe like once a week, like normal people do, even if they are the talking head videos. Maybe I can like edit some somehow. Just have to figure out the copyright stuff with the music. That's very confusing. Yeah, I'm not great at this yet. That's okay. I sucked at a lot of things when I first started, including Russian. All right, well, everybody, have a nice day. If you're in America, have a nice Labor Day. I'm probably going to take time off from a lot of things except the restaurant, because that's not how that job works. And then I'll come back whenever I feel like it. All right, well, have a nice Labor Day, everybody. See you later. Bye.